back to our third video on PicoCTF 2024. So today we're going to be working on another problem, and if you're new here, PicoCTF is essentially a hacking type of competition where you're working on kind of puzzles and games, and we're trying to exploit weaknesses in websites or files to try and find a flag. It's basically an introduction to cybersecurity and hacking, and the questions start off easy and they progress to get extremely difficult towards the end. But today I'm just here to guide you through, and we're working on the third problem called commitment issues. So let's get straight into it. So this question says, I accidentally wrote the flag down. Good thing I deleted it. You can download the challenge files here. So I already downloaded this file, but you just click on it to download it. We head over to our Finder. We should be able to see the file here in our downloads. However, I already have the file here. And then if we open up this file, it will actually, if we double click on it, it'll open up a folder here called drop-in. If we open up the folder, we see there's something called message.txt. Let's open that. And we see here there is a text file that just says top secret. Doesn't really give us much information. So we want to find a flag from this. Seems a little bit tricky. How would we find a flag? Because we just have a file. Well, let's take a look maybe at the hints. Version control can help you recover files if you change or lose them. So as we mentioned before here, I accidentally wrote the flag down. Good thing I deleted it. We should be thinking there about the version control. We should be thinking, is there any way to access the previous versions where the flag was written down before it was deleted? It's using version control. So there is actually a way to use version control. If you look at the second hint, it will reveal it. And it's actually using something called GIT from Pico Primer. So GIT is basically a way to look back at a file's version history. So see what happened in the file beforehand. And so, yeah, we're going to start using GIT. So here it actually, if you go to this website, you'll see this link here talking about how to download GIT. You can use this, but something I preferred much more is actually if we just go to the actual Git install guide, and this might give you some more information. Again, this is what you do if you're using Windows here. This is what you do if you're using Mac, and this is what you do if you're using Linux. So I would recommend, you can use either one. I would think this one might go into a bit more detail, but essentially want to download Git to our computer. In some Macs, you might already have Git. But yeah, part of the challenge for this problem is actually getting the file, getting Git onto your computer so you're able to view the version history. So let's head over to our computer. And so we can type in git version. And if you have something here, if something pops up, that means Git is already on your computer. And that's great because it just simplifies things so much. If not, again, you can just go through the process that I showed you before, go to these websites, figure out how to install Git for your computer, and hopefully you shouldn't be too much trouble. So what we can do is we can head over. So we want to access our folder drop-in. So you can either do this by right-clicking and doing new to terminal at folder, so opens the terminal at that folder, but hopefully we can get a little bit more familiar. So actually to get there, we're just going to do ls, so it lists all of our files here, and we're going to cd our drop-in file. Oh, sorry, not our drop-in file. Okay, sorry. So so now we're going to go over to our terminal, and basically we're going to want to go to our drop-in file. So we can either do this on Mac by doing left click new terminal app folder, which will open our terminal app, the folder drop-in. But I want to show a more generic way, and this only works for Mac. So essentially, if we list all of our files, we have so once we have Git installed, we want to head over to our terminal. So in our terminal, we want to access our drop-in file that we downloaded. So the way to do this is if you open up your terminal, it's going to be here. And if you do ls, that's short for list. We're going to list all of our applications. And so we want to access is, if you downloaded it, it's probably in your downloads. We want to go into our downloads folder. So to do that, we type in cd to access our downloads folder. Then we type in downloads. And this will take us to our downloads folder. Now I have a lot of downloads. If we were listed out, it would be a lot. But once we're in our downloads folder, essentially we want to cd whatever folder we have. So that would be drop-in. So cd drop-in. And now we're in our drop-in folder. And if we want to do ls again to list everything inside drop-in, we see message.txt. Now the problem is again, you can also use another command. I know there's a lot of commands, but another command called cat to see what's inside our message. And again, it says top secret, doesn't have any information there. However, if we go over to our CTF primer here, okay, the first thing we can do is git init. So that seems like it'll initialize our repository with git init. So if we do git initialize, it's already, for me, I already initialized it in here, but if you do git init, it should initialize, make sure that everything's working. Just do that just in case. And so this is telling Git we are whatever. But here, this is the part that we want to pay attention to. When you're ready to go back in time, you can see your past commits with git log. So show the author, commit time, description, etc., etc., etc. So let's just type in git log and see what happens. Git log, right? Press enter. Interesting. So we have two different commits here. You can see one of them is author, is both the same author. One of them is remove sensitive info, and the other is create flag. Interesting. So that looks like those are the two commits. Those are the two times the file was actually saved. Hopefully one of them will be the time where the file was actually saved with our flag. If you look here, it says, our third hint is you can check out commits to see the files inside them. So now we want to check out what's inside those commits to see if we can find the flag, right? So there's another useful command here, git checkout commit ID. So we can check out that commit to see what's in there, right? So let's use that command. So this is the ID here, this long string of characters. So we're going to type in git check out, and now we're just going to paste this long string of characters. Let's do the first one here. Let's paste it, press enter, and it doesn't look okay. Switching, so we're switched to this commit. So now we're in this version. We're in this version, right? This information here is not that relevant, but now we're in this commit, right? So the files inside this folder should be aligning with this first version of the file. And so if we want, you can either go here to your Finder to open up the message. It still says top secret. If we were to do cat message.txt, which is to view the file, it still says top secret. Doesn't look like we've done much, right? So I'm just going to clear this, and I'm going to run our commands again, just to make this easy to view. So we already checked out this one. Now let's check out the second one. Hopefully there's something there, right? So git checkout, and now we're gonna copy our second commit, which is this long string of characters. Previous head position was now changed. So we're now at this commit here. Okay, now it's time to see if there's anything interesting in our flag, in our message. So let's do cat message.txt. And there is our flag from the folder. So again, once we see this, PicoCTF with the curly braces and something inside of it, we know that we've solved the problem. And if we were also just go back to our folder and open up message.txt, we're in the previous version. So it actually shows our flag right there. So let's go ahead and copy this flag, head over to PicoCTF, and we're just gonna paste that flag in here. We're gonna click submit flag, and we've solved that problem. All right, so that one was probably a bit more tricky than all the previous other ones because we've had to install Git. It's a bit tricky to install if it's your first time, and then we have to kind of take a look at that version history to get that information. But that's kind of a first look at how you can go ahead and see what happened to the file. So that's kind of, we're exploiting a vulnerability that it was saved with Git, and that you can go back and like see what happened to the file. But yeah, that is our third problem for PicoCTF. See you next time.